Ladies and gentlemen, this morning as we gather in prayer, we open our hearts to the one who has given us the gift of a new day, breathing life into us once again and calling us to rise with hope, faith and gratitude. Each sunrise reminds us that yesterday is gone, tomorrow is yet to come, and today is a sacred opportunity to draw closer, to be renewed, and to walk in love and purpose. With hearts humbled and spirits lifted, we come seeking strength, cleansing, and guidance, asking for the peace that carries us and the joy that sustains us as we journey through the hours ahead. This morning we rise with a spirit of thankfulness, lifting our hearts in gratitude for the gift of life and the blessing of another new day. The very breath in our lungs is a reminder that we have been given another chance to walk in purpose, to embrace hope, and to align our hearts with what is good and true. Gratitude is not simply saying, "Thank you for the visible blessings," but acknowledging the unseen mercies that carried us through the night and brought us into the dawn. Each sunrise whispers of renewal, of God's unwavering faithfulness, and of the promise that His mercies are new every morning. To awaken is to be entrusted with time, with opportunities, with moments yet to be lived. And when we begin by offering thanks, our hearts are positioned to see the day not as a burden, but as a gift, waiting to unfold. We give thanks for the simple yet profound blessings that we often overlook. The ability to wake up, to see the light of the morning, to hear the sounds of creation stirring, to feel the strength in our bodies, however great or small it may be. These are treasures that remind us of divine care. Even when life feels heavy and uncertain, the very act of rising is proof that purpose is not finished and that grace has met us once again. Gratitude turns our eyes from what is lacking to what has been given. It transforms complaint into contentment and despair into hope. When we choose to start the day with thankfulness, we shift the atmosphere around us, because a grateful heart cannot remain weighed down by the shadows of yesterday. In this moment of prayer, we acknowledge the blessings that surround us, the love of family and friends, the opportunities to grow, the strength to endure trials, the wisdom gained through challenges, and the quiet assurances of peace that meet us when we pause. Even the struggles we face hold within them seeds of gratitude, for they shape us, teach us, and draw us closer to what truly matters. Gratitude does not ignore pain or deny difficulty. Rather, it reframes them through the lens of faith, reminding us that every season, both joyful and trying, can be used for our good. As we thank God for the good, we also thank Him for the lessons hidden in the hard places, trusting that nothing is wasted in the hands of the One who renews all things. As we express gratitude for this new day, we also commit our thoughts and actions to reflect that thankfulness. A grateful heart overflows into kindness, into patience, into acts of love that bless others. When we are truly thankful, we live differently. We speak words that encourage rather than tear down. We walk with a humility that acknowledges we are recipients of grace, not self-made successes. Gratitude is not passive, it is active. It calls us to live in a way that honors the gift of life by cherishing every moment and using it to make a difference. Every sunrise invites us not only to give thanks but also to live thanks, showing through our choices and our character that we recognize the value of this day we have been given. So this morning, as we stand on the threshold of new opportunities, let our hearts swell with appreciation. Let us not rush past the miracle of waking, the miracle of breathing, the miracle of being alive. Gratitude grounds us, reminding us that no matter what awaits in the hours ahead, we are not alone and we are not empty-handed. We carry with us the blessing of life, the presence of peace, and the hope that today can be filled with renewal, growth, and joy. In the stillness of the morning, before the noise of the day sets in, we pause to say thank you, not only with our lips, but with our hearts, with our lives, and with the way we embrace this new beginning that has been placed before us this morning. As we come before God in prayer, we bring with us the weight of yesterday, the burdens that pressed upon our hearts, the worries that lingered through the night, and the struggles that seek to steal our peace. Yet in this quiet moment, we are invited to surrender, to lay down every heavy load at the feet of the one who offers rest for the weary and strength for the weak. Surrender is not a sign of defeat, but an act of faith that acknowledges we were never created to carry everything on our own. It is trusting that the hands that formed the heavens and the earth are strong enough to hold our concerns, and it is believing that His love is big enough to cover every fear, every failure, and every uncertainty. To surrender our burdens is to unclench our fists, to release what we cannot control, and to step into the freedom of knowing that we do not walk this day alone. There are many weights we often try to bear in silence, the unspoken anxieties, the disappointments we hide, the grief we carry deep within, the pressure to appear strong when inside we are breaking. But morning prayer gives us space to bring all of it into the light, to confess that we are tired of trying to manage what is too great for us. We surrender the pain of yesterday's mistakes, the regret that keeps us looking backward, and the fear that keeps us from moving forward. We surrender the bitterness that hardens the heart, the anger that consumes our spirit, and the doubt that clouds our faith. With each word of prayer, we loosen our grip, saying, "Here it is, Lord. I cannot carry this, but I know you can." And as we release, we make room for peace to flow, for joy to return, and for strength to be renewed. Surrender is not a one-time act, but a daily choice, a continual offering of our hearts and minds. Every new sunrise brings with it new challenges, new thoughts that threaten to overwhelm, but also new opportunities to let go and trust again. Each time we surrender, we are reminded that God's grace is sufficient. His timing is perfect, and His plan is greater than our understanding. We learn to rest in the truth that our lives are not held together by our own effort, but by His constant care. And in that rest, the burdens that once weighed us down lose their power to crush us, because we have placed them into the hands of the one who carries them with ease. The load becomes lighter not because the circumstances vanish, but because we are no longer shouldering them alone in this prayerful surrender. We also discover the beauty of exchange. When we give up worry, we receive peace that surpasses understanding. When we release control, we receive guidance that leads us in the right path. When we let go of bitterness, we receive healing for our wounded hearts. When we stop striving to fix everything, we receive the calm assurance that God is already working all things together for good. It is in surrender that we are renewed, that our hearts are softened, and that our spirits are lifted. This exchange is not something earned, but something freely given, a gift that meets us when we bow in humility and lift our hearts in trust. So this morning, we choose to surrender once again. We release yesterday's failures and today's uncertainties. We lay down our fears for the future, our struggles with the present, and our grief from the past. We take each burden, name it in prayer, and hand it over, refusing to take it back upon our shoulders. We rise from this place lighter, freer, and more at peace, because we know the one who carries us never grows weary. And as we walk through the hours ahead, we carry with us the assurance that our burdens are not ours alone, that we are upheld by divine strength, and that in surrender we find the true freedom to live this day with a renewed heart. This morning, as we bow our hearts in prayer, we come with a desire not just for blessings around us, but for transformation within us. We recognize that the greatest battles are often not fought in the world outside, but in the secret places of our hearts where thoughts are formed, desires are nurtured, and motives are hidden. To walk into a new day with strength and peace, we must first invite God to cleanse us deeply, to purify us from anything that weighs down our spirit or clouds our vision. We acknowledge that yesterday may have left behind residue, words spoken in haste, thoughts of doubt, actions that did not reflect love, and choices that strayed from what is right. This morning, we come openly and honestly, asking for cleansing, for a heart that is washed and renewed, for a spirit that is restored and ready to walk in the light of truth, to request inner. Cleansing is to admit our human frailty, to confess that on our own we fall short, and to seek the grace that makes us whole again. It is not about perfection, but about purity of heart, a desire to live authentically with love, humility, and faith guiding our steps. We ask for our thoughts to be purified, that negativity, envy, or pride would be stripped away, leaving space for peace, gratitude, and kindness. We ask for our words to be cleansed, that we may speak life instead of criticism, encouragement instead of discouragement, and truth instead of falsehood. We ask for our actions to be purified, that selfishness would be replaced with service, anger with gentleness, and bitterness with forgiveness. Inner cleansing begins when we no longer hide our flaws but bring them into the light of prayer, trusting that what is exposed can be healed, and what is surrendered can be renewed. This cleansing is also about releasing what lingers in the hidden corners of our hearts, the unforgiveness we still carry, the resentment we still harbor, the guilt we still replay in our minds. These things weigh us down more than we realize, shaping the way we see the world and the way we treat others. When we pray for inner cleansing, we are asking for the chains of these hidden burdens to be broken. We are asking for freedom from the patterns of thought and behavior that keep us trapped in cycles of regret and bitterness. We are asking for the washing away of shame, the silencing of lies that tell us we are unworthy, and the renewal of a heart that knows it is loved, forgiven, and chosen. Each moment of surrender is a step toward wholeness. Each prayer for cleansing a step toward a lighter and freer spirit. To be cleansed inwardly is to be prepared outwardly for the day ahead. A heart that has been renewed does not carry yesterday's dirt into today's opportunities. It sees clearly, loves deeply, and acts with integrity. It is able to forgive quickly, to serve selflessly, and to shine brightly because it is no longer clouded by what weighs it down. A cleansed heart is sensitive to the needs of others, attuned to the voice of God, and ready to reflect goodness even in the midst of challenges. When we ask for cleansing, we are not only seeking personal renewal, but also preparing to be vessels of hope and peace in the lives of those we encounter. Our inner transformation becomes an outer testimony, and the light that shines within us cannot help but brighten the world around us. So this morning, we humbly and earnestly ask for inner cleansing. We bring every hidden thought, every unspoken struggle, every quiet temptation, and every lingering wound into the presence of God. We do not hold back or pretend to be whole. Instead, we come honestly, knowing that true healing begins with truth. Wash us from the inside out, create in us a heart that is pure, renew within us a steadfast spirit, and fill us with the strength to walk this day with integrity and love. As the new morning light shines upon us, may our hearts too be made new, shining with peace, hope, and the joy of being cleansed and renewed from within this morning as we lift our hearts in prayer. We ask for strength that goes beyond human ability, the strength to forgive and the strength to love, Forgiveness is one of the hardest paths to walk, for it requires us to release what hurt us, to let go of the offense, and to choose peace over resentment. Love too is not always easy, for it calls us to care even when we do not feel like caring, to extend kindness even when it is not returned, and to see the value in others even when their actions have wounded us. Yet, as we begin a new day, we know that forgiveness and love are the keys to walking with freedom, to living without chains, and to experiencing the fullness of life that God intends for us. So we pray this morning that our hearts would be softened, our wounds would be healed, and our spirits would be filled with the courage to forgive, and the compassion to love. Forgiveness is not about forgetting what was done, nor is it about excusing wrong behavior. But it is about choosing to release the hold that pain has over us. It is acknowledging the hurt, but refusing to let bitterness grow roots in our hearts. When we cling to unforgiveness, we carry a weight that exhausts us and dims our joy. But when we forgive, we open our hearts to healing and allow peace to take its place. We pray today for the strength to forgive those who have spoken harshly to us, those who have betrayed us, those who have let us down, and even those who may not feel sorry for the pain they caused. Forgiveness is not for them alone. It is also for us, that we may walk unburdened and free, able to embrace this new day without the poison of resentment. To love in its truest form requires more than human will. It requires divine help. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. Love does not insist on its own way. Love bears all things and endures all things. This kind of love does not come from a heart that clings to selfishness, but from one that has been filled and renewed by grace. We pray this morning that our love would go beyond words and be shown in our actions, that we would listen more, give more, and serve more willingly. We ask for the love that sees people not for their mistakes, but for their worth, the love that looks past flaws and embraces humanity with compassion. We ask for love that does not grow cold in the face of rejection, but continues to shine even when it is not returned. There will always be moments when forgiveness feels impossible and love feels too costly, but it is in those very moments that we are called to rise higher. When anger tries to take over, we pray for the strength to release it. When pride tells us to hold on to grudges, we pray for the humility to let them go. When selfishness whispers to protect only ourselves, we pray for the courage to reach out with kindness. Love and forgiveness are not signs of weakness but of strength, for it takes far greater courage to heal than to hurt, to restore than to destroy, to embrace than to reject. In choosing forgiveness, we rise above what has been done to us, and in choosing love, we reflect a light that no darkness can overcome. So this morning, as the sun rises and a new day unfolds, we ask to be filled with this strength. We ask to walk into the hours ahead with hearts that do not carry bitterness, but are instead overflowing with love. We ask to be examples of patience, kindness, and mercy, to forgive quickly, to love deeply, and to live fully in the freedom that comes from both. May our words be gentle, our actions be gracious, and our spirits be tender. May forgiveness break every chain that binds us to the past, and may love guide every step we take in the present. With renewed hearts, we go forward into this day, not in our own strength, but strengthened by grace to forgive and to love in ways that bring peace to ourselves and to those around us. This morning, as we come in prayer, we acknowledge that life is not without direction, that each day is more than a random sequence of hours, but a step on a path designed with intention. We rise with a longing, not just to move through the motions of the day, but to walk in purpose, to live with clarity, and to follow the path that has been prepared for us. Many times we wrestle with questions of where we are going, what we are called to do, and how we are meant to live in a way that truly matters. In this quiet hour before the noise of the world takes over, we seek guidance, asking that our hearts be aligned with what is right, and that our steps be ordered toward purpose. Purpose gives meaning to the smallest of tasks and direction to the greatest of challenges. Without it, we wander aimlessly, easily swayed by distractions and weighed down by uncertainty. But when our lives are rooted in purpose, even the struggles we face become part of a greater story. We pray this morning that our minds be sharpened to recognize opportunities, that our ears be tuned to hear the gentle leading that nudges us forward, and that our hearts be open enough to embrace the direction we are given. Guidance is not always a loud voice, but often a quiet whisper, a subtle conviction, a door that opens or one that closes. We ask for the patience to wait when we do not yet see clearly, and the courage to move when the way is revealed. It is easy to become weary when purpose seems hidden, to feel as though we are drifting without meaning. But today we remind ourselves that every season has significance. Even in times of waiting, growth is taking place, and even in times of trial, character is being shaped. We pray for the wisdom to see beyond the present moment, to trust that the steps we take today are not wasted, but are preparing us for tomorrow. We pray that confusion would be replaced with clarity, that fear would be replaced with faith, and that hesitation would be replaced with boldness. We ask that our plans be aligned with divine will, and that our pursuits be grounded not in selfish ambition, but in the desire to make a difference, to serve, and to shine light in the spaces we occupy. Guidance toward purpose also requires humility, the willingness to let go of our own agenda when it does not serve the greater good. Too often we hold tightly to our own plans, only to find them leading us into frustration or emptiness. But when we surrender our path and seek divine leading, we find direction that is steady and sure. We pray this morning for discernment, the ability to distinguish between what is temporary and what is eternal, between what is urgent and what is truly important. We ask to be guided not by pressure or fear, but by peace and conviction. With each decision we face, big or small, we ask for clarity that keeps us aligned with purpose and not distracted by lesser things. So as the new day unfolds before us, we choose not to walk aimlessly but prayerfully, asking to be guided step by step. May our conversations today build up and not tear down. May our work today reflect excellence and integrity. May our choices today move us closer to what we are meant to be and not farther away. May we recognize the opportunities disguised in small moments, and may we embrace the responsibilities that come with the calling on our lives. We walk into this day with trust, believing that our path is not by chance but by design, and that as we seek guidance, we will be led into purpose. With renewed hearts, we rise to live not only for ourselves but for the greater plan at work in us, ready to embrace this day as a step toward the fulfillment of who we are created to be. This morning, as the first light of day breaks through the sky, we lift our hearts in prayer, asking for hope and renewal to carry us into the hours ahead. Each new sunrise is a reminder that yesterday is behind us, and today offers a fresh beginning. No matter the weight of our past struggles, no matter the disappointments we faced or the challenges that seemed too heavy to bear, this day comes wrapped in new mercies and new possibilities. Hope is the anchor that keeps us steady when life feels uncertain, and renewal is the gift that restores our strength when we feel weary. As we step into this day, we do so with the assurance that we are not alone, that we are upheld by grace, and that there is always the promise of a brighter tomorrow, even if the present feels heavy. Hope does not deny the reality of hardship, but it declares that hardship does not have the final word. It whispers to our hearts that even in the darkest night, the dawn will come, and even in the deepest valley, there is a way forward. This morning, we pray for that kind of hope to rise within us, a hope that is not shaken by circumstances, but grounded in the truth that each day holds purpose and each season holds promise. We ask for hope that lifts our eyes above discouragement, hope that steadies us when fear tries to take hold, and hope that breathes life into dreams that may have felt forgotten. With hope in our hearts, we begin this day not with dread but with anticipation, believing that good things can unfold, that healing is possible, that opportunities await, and that joy can be found. Even in simple moments alongside hope, we seek renewal, for we know that without renewal our strength fades and our spirits grow weary. Renewal is the refreshing of our souls, the restoring of our minds, and the awakening of our hearts to live fully and freely once again. We pray this morning for renewal of energy for tired bodies, renewal of focus for distracted minds, and renewal of peace for anxious hearts. We ask to be made new in our attitudes, shedding the negativity of yesterday and embracing a spirit of gratitude and optimism. Renewal is the gentle reminder that we are not defined by our failures, but invited to rise again with courage. It is the inner strength that helps us keep going when the journey is long, and the quiet confidence that assures us we are being carried even when we feel weak. As we look ahead to this day, we pray that hope and renewal would guide the way we live and interact with others. Let our words be seasoned with encouragement, our actions marked by kindness, and our thoughts filled with peace. May we carry hope into the lives of those around us, becoming a source of light for those who feel lost and weary. May we embody renewal by showing patience, extending forgiveness, and offering love where it is most needed. This day is not just for us to endure, but for us to live with intention, to make a difference, and to reflect the grace that has renewed us. Each encounter, each task, and each choice can be shaped by the hope we hold and the renewal we receive, turning ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities for growth and impact. So we step into the day ahead with hearts lifted high, thankful for the gift of hope that strengthens us and renewal that restores us. We release yesterday's worries, we embrace today's opportunities, and we trust tomorrow's promises. As the hours unfold, may we remain anchored in hope and refreshed in spirit, ready to face challenges with courage and to embrace blessings with joy. With renewed hearts and hopeful spirits, we walk into this new day confident that it holds purpose, promise, and peace, and that every step we take can be filled with grace and meaning.